podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome to the Paddock and The Pavilion with Stephen Wallace. In each show, Stephen will interview someone connected to the world of horse racing or cricket.
And to do it in the name of an institution that is trying to increase opportunity and equality for women, I mean, can you wish for anything better than that? I don't think you can, so it's really special.
That was another fabulous clip from French international Poppy McGowan. I hope you enjoyed part one of our Fairbreak XI Tour podcast. Coming up in part two, you will find out from Ariana, Mariko, Ruchi and Poppy what Fairbreak means to them, along with their off-field highlights of the tour. And what does Fairbreak mean to you, and how important do you think Fairbreak is to women's cricket?
I think it's empowering women, which is really something like nowadays it's getting there, but something like Fairbreak is needed just to help keep pushing. And I think not only through cricket, but through the work they do, it's just really, I think nowadays it's still needed, and we need to keep addressing it and keep pushing for women's equality. And I think it's doing all the right things. So it really is a strong part of me now.
And you're now playing cricket, club cricket in Australia. You know, has Fairbreak sort of given you a drive, the opportunity to play in another country?
Yes, I'd say it has, because it's going on tour with them. We played at so many different places with so many different teams. I think it gave me the confidence to say I could do this and not stress as much as I would have if I was coming to Australia. I haven't had that experience with the team, with the group of girls that I did. So yeah, I definitely think Fairbreak gave me a really good opportunity.
Fairbreak is honestly extremely important to us. I feel very privileged that when I'm playing, something like Fairbreak has been created, where people had the vision to promote associate women's cricket, which is what you say, cricket from the developing nations, because we have a lot of talent. We have girls with a lot of passion for cricket, but unfortunately we don't have the same funding and the same access as some of the larger nations such as England, Australia. And to have Fairbreak where we have the opportunity to play against higher level teams, and especially the Fairbreak Invitational competition where we have the opportunity to play alongside the test nations, that is it's not only an amazing experience, but it's so good for our personal development, where we realize what standard we need to be at, and we can take away the learnings that we have on tour and bring it back to the home country, whether that be in terms of performance or also in terms of structure, in terms of team spirit. Yeah, it's amazing, and I hope it just continues to grow.
Of course, Fairbreak is going to be like a broken record, but it means so much. And it's not just about providing opportunities to create an equal pathway from women and men, but more so the associate players. You know, the likes of myself, Yasmin Daswani, Carrie Chan in Hong Kong, where we do play at the highest level within Hong Kong, but again, the disparity of associates to internationals is so vast and so great that we want to try and minimize that. And from my personal experience of playing in Australia, from a Premier 1 division and also with the Northern Diamonds, I know just by simply training and being surrounded by international players and really good cricketers, you are inevitably going to grow. So I think this platform, what Fairbreak provides, is this platform for associate cricketers to actually see where they can go and learn the game itself and understand their game as well. So yeah, I can't speak highly enough about just the gender equality aspect of Fairbreak, but also the associate nations aspect too.
What does Fairbreak mean to you, and how important is Fairbreak to women's cricket?
What Fairbreak meant to me on a personal level was it really opened up the realms of what we could do as players in France on a cricket level, what we can aspire to and what we can, we represent our country in international tournaments, and we're extremely proud of that. And we really believe it's an honor and privilege. But to suddenly be invited into something that's even bigger with women from a number of countries and be considered as a member of the team, be immersed in the team, be accepted and be encouraged and supported all the way. Outside of your own country with people who have outstanding backgrounds in cricket. I mean, the coach, Jeff Lawson, is a legend, and suddenly you're getting coached by him. I mean, those are things that you only dream of, really. So on a personal level, it meant a lot to me. I dreamed of going to Fairbreak and once in my life, and it happened sooner than I thought it would. And so that's really special. And I think that what Fairbreak means to women in general, and I saw it when I got invited, I got a lot of support from everybody in France. The first reaction was, we're super happy for you, especially my teammates. They were all, chuffed and excited and really, really genuinely happy for me. But very quickly after that, you could tell they were like, wow, like, how did it happen? How did you get the offer? Because you could see that suddenly this little seed was planted that, if a player in France can go, we can all go one day. We can all aspire to go into Fairbreak. And it just means that we're going to keep working even harder. And we've got an even bigger dream to work towards, if there is anything bigger than playing for your country. But, we get to travel, meet other players. And it's just, when you come from a small country like France for cricket, it's just things that, you just really just dream of. And suddenly it's a reality. So I think it's an exceptional opportunity, and to do it in the name of an institution that is trying to increase opportunity and equality for women. I mean, can you wish for anything better than that? I don't think you can. So it's really special.
Have you got a touring highlight off the field? I know you were very good at finding the cafes. That's what it says on Instagram.
That is true. I call it third wave coffee, and I thought that was a standard word or terminology that you use for good coffees. And I lived in Australia for a bit, but no one knew what that meant. I was like, what? I have to take you. And I think once you play cricket, you are definitely in the coffee culture. So a lot of our rest days were hopping around, exploring the city, but finding the best coffees.
Off-field moment. Our first Scotland game got rained off, and we were wondering what to do. So the team came together to make a TikTok, and that was really fun because we really came together and made it really fast, and it kind of made a theme to make team TikToks. And that same night we went for a team karaoke session, and that was just so much fun. Everyone we saw a new side to everyone, and I think it helped us gel together more in the coming games.
So who was the best karaoke singer?
I really want to say me. When I was doing karaoke, I was like, whoa, my talent is really wasted in cricket. I should be on the X Factor. And then I watched the clips the next day and I was like, no, I should stick to cricket. But I'd say the best one was Laura Bailey because she has a really good voice.
What about Roberta? What was her singing like?
Roberta is just an all-round entertainer on the field, off the field. She is surprisingly quiet during the karaoke, but on field you hear her all the time. She's such a big entertainer.
Have you got a touring highlight off the field?
Off the field? Oh, I'd have to say it would be the TikToks that we made. We made a couple, and I think one of them was to the sound "It's Corn," which was I think repeated many, many times during the tour. So, and it's something that stuck with me. I still say "It's Corn" randomly to people, and they're like, "What is she talking about?" But it's just because it was such a funny moment, and everyone, all of our team, got invested in it, and it was just like our group coming together. It was Corn.
I suppose that's the beauty about the Fairbreak tour, everyone coming together. Yeah,
that was the main part of it for me. Everyone came together so welcoming, so happily and openly kind of thing. And I don't think anyone ever felt left out. Everyone was together, everyone was with people and chatting and being happy and playing cricket. And it was just really, really good experience.
Have you a tour highlight off the field?
There were many. It was the life off the pitch that was just made special all the time by all the girls. I especially had a good time with I was room sharing with Roberta from Brazil. And I mean, she's crazy, but I'm kind of crazy also. We're the same type of crazy. And we got along really well, and we could speak about everything, cricket, technique. But more than anything, it was sharing our common experiences from our countries. I think Brazil and France were different level teams, but similar sort of setup back home, similar struggles, similar, highlights of playing for your country and traveling and doing things you never thought you would get to do. And that was really enriching. And, Fairbreak, you make friends for life. Well, I did anyway. And Roberta was a very special person to be able to meet and share a room with. And it was just constant laughter and positive energy. And meeting her was really, really good.
That really sums up what Fairbreak's all about, Poppy.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the cricket's the vehicle, but the human connections and relationships you build, that's how we're going to build cricket. It's something I've always said. We're not, in associate countries, we're not going to build cricket on winning or run rates or winning cups or competitions. We're going to build it by building really strong friendships and connections and working together for the greater good of women's cricket. So, Fairbreak is all of that in a nutshell. And I don't know how they managed to make it that way, but they did. And I'm really thankful they did, because it's really, you could spend hours trying to explain to somebody to make it happen. If it's not there, it's not there. And Fairbreak has it all. So, yeah, thanks to them.
But Mariko, what is third wave coffee? When you say third wave, what does that actually mean? Is that
It's just, okay, so first, I wouldn't call it first wave or second wave, but first wave would be the typical press a button or cafe sachets that you get, Nescafe granules. Second wave would be like the Starbucks or the Costas that you get. And then the third wave, you go to a proper cafe and they've got, one of those big machines and with their espressos, and you get a good coffee, good milk, everything.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
And with the 2023 Fairbreak Invitational event only 5 months away, I asked our Fairbreakers how much they are looking forward to next year's competition. I began by speaking to the Fairbreak XI tour manager, Saba Nazim, followed by Scottish cricket's Sue Strachan. And finally, you're back as the manager of the Falcons at the Fairbreak Invitational in April 2023. How much are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, I know. I just got the news on social media. I think it was yesterday. Fantastic to be able to manage again, and must be doing something right if they keep calling me back. But yeah, really looking forward to the new venue. It's in Hong Kong this time. So yeah, just absolutely fantastic. I've never been to Hong Kong before, so really looking forward to that.
Well, that's something to really look forward to. It's on between the 3rd and the 16th of April. And are they expecting again to get leading players from around the world like this year when you had the likes of Heather Knight, Susie Bates, Marizanne Kapp playing?
Yeah, definitely. I think they're working on it now. So you start seeing on their social media the players that have been asked to come back again, along with the managers and the coaches. So yes, there's a work in progress at the moment. And yeah, it'll be fantastic to see many of those international players, along with the successful, associate nation players back again in the tournament.
Yes, Saba, 2022 in Dubai, there was 90 players from 35 different countries, really spreading the word of women's cricket.
Yeah, definitely. It would be great to see all those players back again, along with the associate nation players and maybe a few new ones too. It'd be absolutely fantastic, what Fairbreak is doing to get all these women playing together. So really looking forward to it in Hong Kong next year.
Well, it's going to be amazing, isn't it? Fairbreak Invitational 2022 was intense, brilliant, fabulous. It was a huge learning curve for all of us involved, but it was just first ever of its kind. The first ever time that young female cricketers from smaller nations got to mix it with their icons, got to play in the same team, got to train with people that they'd only ever seen on the television, and had a chance to actually show how good they were on the global stage. And that's an opportunity they don't often get, or some of them will never get, playing for their own countries, which is a whole other podcast probably. But I think to be part of something that brought these young women together, 90 players, 34 different countries. I think I had 10 different nationalities in my squad that I managed, was just brilliant. And I loved it. And I think 2023 is going to be even better. You know, the 2022 was the first time they'd ever done it. Fairbreak did an amazing job. They moved it from Hong Kong because of the COVID requirements to Dubai. The team in Dubai, Sam Charnley, who helped the operations on the ground, were superb. The ground we played at, the Dubai International Stadium, you know, significant chunk of these players had never played under the lights before. So the training session, we had one training session under the lights, under the ring of fire. And just to be playing under the lights and to be live streamed with such great quality live stream, great quality media coverage, for these young women, it was just like so many dreams come true. And to be part of being able to deliver that for them was just incredible.
And next year, you're going to have crowds as well.
Yeah, I think that's going to make a big difference to the experience of the players during the tournament. I think that Hong Kong cricket will embrace this tournament, and I hope and expect that we'll get good crowds at smaller grounds. They are, but good grounds, and I think we will get good crowds, and hopefully we will have people starting to decide which team they're going to support, and then perhaps just buy into that team's ethos a little bit more during the tournament. And I think that for these young female cricketers, it's going to be even better than 2022 was, and that's incredibly exciting.
You must be excited about the 2023 Fairbreak Invitational being played in your home country of Hong Kong in April 2023.
Yeah, I mean, Hong Kong is just an incredible city to not only be in as a tourist, but to host an event. So, I mean, back in the day when I was almost 13, 14 years old, there used to be an event called the Cricket Sixes, and it was a big, big thing. All the greats of the game came in, and it was just sort of 5 overs that you play. But unfortunately, that stopped. So there was no cricketing event that really took part in Hong Kong. So it does create a platform for such movement to host and play in Hong Kong. But yeah, I think it'll be good because it's going to be played at a club where it's quite, I wouldn't say small, but it's you get close to the audience. So there's going to be a lot more boundaries, I'd say. So maybe not good for the bowlers, but a lot more fun, a lot of noise. And with COVID restrictions now gone, there won't be as many limitations compared to what it could have been last year.
And will you be playing for the Falcons again? You were runners-up last year. This year?
I mean, I'd hope so. I was the first person to get nominated or re-invited back for Fairbreak, so I'm really humbled to do that. But yeah, depending on the team, I don't know which team. It's up to the organisation, but I really do hope I'm part of the Falcons because we created such a nice family of players, and I think we just all got stuck into it. And of course, I know sort of the sponsors and whatnot, and we got along. So I hope this time we can sort of carry the trophy and not come runners up.
And you're going to have a chance to play again in Fairbreak 2023 in Hong Kong.
Yes, I've been invited to Fairbreak 2023. I'm looking forward to it. It's my home country.
So do you know what team you're going to be playing in the Fairbreak 2023 then, Ruchi?
I have no idea. In 2022, I was part of the Barmy Army. I'm not sure if I've been retained for the Barmy Army or I'll be part of another team, but anyway, let's see.
But the chance to play against, the likes of Susie Bates and people like that, and Marizanne Kapp, Heather Knight. Well, you played with Heather Knight, didn't you?
Yes.
You must learn a lot from playing with and against those players.
Yeah, you really do. Even as simple as how they go about their warm-ups, how they go about their net sessions, their trainings. You really see how disciplined and committed they are.
And that must then help when you're playing then and training with the Hong Kong team.
Yeah, it does. Because I saw everybody's intensity go up to a new level, everybody's performance, everybody's drive. Even when I was talking to girls from other countries, they were saying that they realized what a high level really looks like, and it made them really want to improve their own level.
So I suppose even sitting down with players of the likes of Heather Knight and chatting to them about the game helps as much as actually the training and playing with them.
Yes, of course. They have so much insight, and many of these players, they really want to help. They're really willing to share their knowledge, have a chat with you, support you. A lot of us are still in touch with some of those big test players, and it really means a lot to us. Their help, I really appreciate any help.
And hot news off the press, you're going to be part of 2023, the Fairbreak Invitational in Hong Kong.
Yes, I am. It's really exciting for me. Obviously, I've gone from the Fairbreak tour now to Australia and now to Hong Kong. It's amazing what my cricket is doing right now. And I really hope to learn so much along the way and hopefully help others and inspire others to keep going with cricket or even get into cricket even. So I'm so grateful for the opportunity and I can't wait. I'm really excited.
So you'll go from playing in Australia for, is it Melville, to then going to the Fairbreak Invitational event in Hong Kong?
Yes, that's correct.
To end part 2, I've gone back to our opening guest in part 1, one of the founders of Fairbreak and now the head of Fairbreak, Shaun Martyn. And then moving forward to Fairbreak 2023 in Hong Kong, can you remind listeners of the dates and what your plans are for next year's tournament?
Yeah, well, what you'll see is version 2 of what was in Dubai. The dates are, the tournament starts April 3rd and finishes on April 16. So 10 days of play, 20 matches. And what we're really looking forward to is the fact that we'll have crowds at Kowloon Cricket Club. And we know for a fact already that there's a huge amount of interest in people coming to see what they could only see really on their screens in Dubai. So we've retained, or we're in the process at the moment of retaining a certain number of players in each of those teams. We want to keep some consistency there, and they've identified very quickly the players with those teams that they played in. And then there'll be an introduction of some new players, which we will do every time we play, because it is about broadening the opportunity as much as we can.
And are you hopeful again of getting some of the world stars which you had in this year with people like Heather Knight playing again?
Susie Bates, Hayley Matthews, all of those. Yes, many of them have committed already. So you will see, a lot of those players that you saw back. There'll be a few changes here and there at that level, but in the main, they're already talking to each other about it. You'll see them.
I think that's been the beauty of speaking to players from associate nations, how much they learned with playing with the likes of Heather Knight, Susie Bates and the like.
It's very interesting what happens, Stephen, is the players that we invite, Jeff Lawson, myself, Alex Blackwell and Sana Mir, we're the committee that trawls through hours of video and recommendations from people, and basically we manage the list of players, which is how we we will always do it. We won't be auctioning people or anything like that. So what we find is that the majority of players that we invite are highly skilled. Many of them only play men's cricket in their own country, so they're not intimidated. What they lack is game sense. They just don't play enough. So especially with the high caliber coaching staff that we have, it doesn't take them very long to feel comfortable, I suppose, in that environment. And you saw, I think, in the tournament, some of the outstanding performances were from Associate Nation players. But the other interesting thing that happens at the other end is that you'll get comments from some of the more, I suppose, better known players, for want of a better word, where they'll come up and say, Shaun, I've got performance anxiety here. All of these players in my team are looking at me going, I'm supposed to be pretty special, and you better do something. So what you find is that the whole standard lifts right across the board, and that was the experience we found in Dubai, and I think that will just continue now.
And where do you see Fairbreak, say, in another 5 years? Will the Invitational continue each year, and will you also have tours of the UK each year?
The tournament will certainly continue each year. I've just got back from the United States, and I'm hoping to make a fairly exciting announcement about that in the next month or so, which will be another significant step in the work that we do. We will certainly tour. We will have a touring side. Whether we tour to the UK every year or whether we alternate with the Americas or another region, but we'll certainly be back. There's no doubt about that. Absolutely. And look, we're getting asked to play in a lot of places at the moment as a can you bring a Fairbreak team to play here? Can you, and we'd love to do that in the future. We're not equipped to do it right now, but I would say, over the next 24 months, we will be equipped to play in a few more places than we are right now. We're playing in Canberra in Australia in February. We launch our Fairbreak book, which is being written at the moment, is launched on February the 4th at Manuka Oval in Canberra. And we're playing an ACT Media's side that week in a 50-over fixture and 3 T20 fixtures. So we'll have a Fairbreak team in Australia for that week leading up to the book launch on the 4th of February. And I think that team that we've in the process of inviting at the moment, I think is a squad of 14 from 12 different countries.
That's fantastic. You must be so pleased with how it's gone since the Invitational earlier this year.
Yeah, I'm very pleased. We've got a wonderful group of people that work on this project. I mean, obviously, it's not just me. there's a huge number of people that are committed to what they now call a movement. I don't use that word, but the players use that, and a number of the other people that work with us do. So they're constantly, encouraging and pushing and innovating. All of those things that we do. The players are incredibly supportive. That we have a wonderful group of players. They identify with what we do. They like the fact that we play in, recycled plastic clothing. We don't accept sponsorship from gambling or betting. We've shipped some of the branding, for example, from Dubai to Hong Kong, so we can repurpose some of it. Rather than sending it in the landfill, and then it goes to a company in America and gets turned into shopping bags and pencil cases. So we're trying as much as we can to sort of walk the talk, I suppose, in terms of sustainability, looking after the environment, thinking about how we can make improvements all the time. The piece of work that Professor Deidre McGee did on breast research and sports bras in Dubai was groundbreaking. That had never been done in cricket before. And that sort of research will continue through into Hong Kong and into other tournaments. When you read her chapter in the book, I think you'll be staggered at the lack of awareness around that health issue for women playing cricket.
And the women's game can only go from strength to strength with the help of Fairbreak.
Well, I think we've always done our bit. We're certainly not an organisation that's looking to compete with anyone. Right from the word go, we always just wanted to complement what was happening and to find a position, I suppose, in world cricket where we could be supportive and provide opportunity for players. Because I think the more that we can do that, as other domestic leagues begin around the world. I mean, there's going to be a Pakistan domestic league. There'll finally be an Indian IPL. I mean, all of these domestic leagues, I think, are fantastic. I mean, we're positioned as the only global league, which is where I want us to be, because that gives us the chance to showcase players from every corner of the globe, and hopefully some of those other domestic leagues will then look at those players and create another opportunity for them. And I think that's where we provide that positioning in world cricket that's only beneficial to everyone.
Well, thank you very much, Shaun, and the very best of luck for Fairbreak Invitational 2023 and for joining me on the podcast.
Thanks, Stephen. Really enjoyed it, and thanks for having me on.
Thank you for listening to the Paddock and the Pavilion. You can download the show on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, SoundCloud, Stitcher and Spotify. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram at the Pad and Pav. Don't forget, if you like the show, please do leave us a rating and review.
Sports Social Podcast Network.
This year, take your holiday from standard to sophisticated with Virginia ABC. Shop spirits for gift-giving, entertaining, or treating yourself to something special this holiday season. For inspiration, visit our website to browse ABC's holiday gift guide and find recipes for unforgettable seasonal cocktails. With more than 3,000 spirits, wines, and mixers, you can dress up your holidays. With Virginia ABC, please sip responsibly.